Hello girls. So in today's class we are going to see this topic, insurance ombudsman. Okay. So this is a topic to do with some sort of an insurance grievance redressal. That is, in general, any company for that matter if you take, or any organization for that matter if you take, and if there are a lot of customers involved, there is always room for chaoses, there is always room for some sort of problems to arise. Okay, so these problems need to be addressed and resolved, isn't it? So the grievance need to be redressed. Only then you would find the success of any organization for that matter. So similarly, here also we have an insurance company, and we are going in detail with the various concepts of insurance. So this is yet another topic which will teach you another availability as far as insurance company is concerned. If at all you have any kind of grievances as a policy holder, you can always you can redress those grievances. All right. So for that particular purpose of grievance redressal, there is something called as insurance ombudsman. Okay, so what is this insurance ombudsman? Now, insurance ombudsmen are appointed by the governing body and are empowered to entertain complaints on the following aspects in respect of personal line insurance or any partial or total repudiation of claims by an insurer, or any disputes, okay, in regards to premiums, that which is paid or that which is payable, okay, in terms of the policy. All right, so anything relevant to insurance when it is faced by a client, okay, or the insured, you can always take it to the insurance ombudsman. So what is the meaning of this term ombudsman? So ombudsman is nothing but he is an official, all right, so who usually is appointed by the government, and who is the one who will investigate the complaints that which is usually lodged by either a private citizen or a public citizen, and it could be against any businesses or financial institution or government departments or other public entities, and he will attempt to resolve the conflicts, all right, or give solutions for the problems. So that is who is called as an ombudsman. So talking about ombudsman from insurance perspective, insurance ombudsman is a person who is appointed, okay, or they are, it's a company basically. So ombudsman is called as the person who will resolve the complaints for you. So insurance ombudsmen are appointed by the governing body, okay, of the insurance, that is your IRDA, and they are empowered, okay, to entertain the complaints on any aspect. It could be relevant to premiums, it could be relevant to repudiation of the claims, or it could be relevant to any kind of a dispute or a problem that which is being faced by the insured. Okay, that is, the complaint has to be first made with the insurance company, and if it is found that the insurance company is not properly responding, or when the insurance company has not responded within a stipulated time limit, then you can always approach the insurance ombudsman. Okay, and this particular organization enables in the easy resolving, okay, of the grievances, providing redressal for the grievances. So this is basically a scheme that which is created by the government of India for the policy holders, okay, who have complaints that needs to be settled. Okay, so instead of going to the courts, you can approach the insurance ombudsman, which is more cost effective and efficient, all right, and impartial. So they are not going to have any biasness, they're going to be completely impartial and provide the redressal for your grievances. All right, so this particular institution came into being or was established in the year 1998 on the 11th of November. So like I told you, the purpose of this institution is to provide quick redressal for the grievances of the insured customers, and also to mitigate the problems that which is involved in the redressal of those grievances. Mitigate, you can say reduce the intensity or to cut off the problems that which is involved in the redressal of those grievances. Alright, so this particular institution protects the interest of the policy holders and builds up their confidence. Alright, so this particular institution also tries to build up the confidence of the customers, okay, in the insurance field. So this is what is called as insurance ombudsman. So let's see the constitution of this particular organization. The appointment, first of all, the appointment of the insurance ombudsman. The appointment of this particular insurance ombudsman is done by the governing body of the insurance council. Alright, so this particular committee comprises of a chairperson, alright, of IRDA, a chairperson from LIC and a chairperson from LIC, and also representatives from the central government. Okay, so this is basically a committee that which is appointed, insurance ombudsman, and the management committee comprises of chairperson from IRDA, chairperson from LIC, one chairperson again from GIC, and other representatives from the central government. Alright, so this insurance comprises of, this particular insurance council comprises of members of life insurance council, general insurance council, and your central government. Alright, then the next thing would be the eligibility. Okay, so the ombudsman is drawn from insurance industry itself. Who can be the ombudsman? The one who resolves the conflicts. So he is the one who will be drawn from the insurance company itself. Okay, or rather he can be an IAS, or he can be an IPS, or he can even be a judge. Okay, or from the notary, the lawyers. Alright, so this is the eligibility of an ombudsman. So only people from this particular criteria or area can be drawn, okay, as a ombudsman. Then the term of the office. So this particular office is for 3 years from the appointment. Alright, so the maximum time limit for this particular office to exist is 3 years. Other than that, if at all the ombudsman attains 65 years, then that will be the term of the office. So whichever is earlier, either 3 years terms, or it could be the 65 years of the ombudsman when he attains. So that will be the end of the office, termination of the office. The next one is territorial jurisdiction of ombudsman. Okay, so this is based on the geographical area. Okay, so there are 12 ombudsmen, okay, so that which is appointed throughout the jurisdiction. Like you can see, the offices of the 12 insurance ombudsmen are located in Bhopal, Bhubaneswar, Cochin, Guwahati, Chandigarh, New Delhi, Chennai, Kolkata, Ahmedabad, Lucknow, Mumbai, Hyderabad. Okay, so these are the offices. But otherwise, there will be an ombudsman office, regional office in every other city. Alright, the next one is office management. So as far as the office management of the ombudsman is considered, the ombudsman has a secretarial staff, okay, who is provided to him by the insurance council, who will be assisting him in discharging all his duties. So whatever is the expense, okay, the compensation that which is paid for the ombudsman and the staff, it will be taken care by the insurance company. Okay, then the removal from the office. Supposing if the ombudsman is found that he is guilty, okay, or rather if he is having some sort of a misconduct, okay, in the committee during his office, he can be removed. Okay, so for that purpose, first of all, what the council will do is, the governing body will appoint a person who thinks is fit to conduct an inquiry on the misconduct of the ombudsman, then the inquiry will be conducted, and in case if it is found that the ombudsman is guilty, then the authority will take a decision and take some kind of an action on the ombudsman based on the recommendation that which is made by IRDA and the governing body. Sometimes if he is found guilty, he would also be terminated from the services. Alright. Then the next one is the power of the ombudsman. See, ombudsman has got two power. One is conciliation. Okay. He's got the power to reconcile. Another one is award making. Okay. So these are the two powers that which is given to the ombudsman. So he is empowered to receive and consider the complaints and then try to provide grievances against such redressal for such grievances that which is received. The complaints that which is made, okay, may relate to any of the grievances against the insurer. That is, it might be a repudiation of claims by the insurance companies. It may be any partial or total repudiation, or it might be a disputes with regard to premium that which is paid or payable in terms of the policy. It could also be the disputes on legal construction of the policy wordings, or rather it can be some sort of dispute regarding the claims, or it could be because of the complaint may be because of the delay in the settlement of the claims or non-issuance of the insurance documents after the customers to the customer after the receipt of the premium. Alright, so the complaints could be in respect of any of these categories that I made a mention. So the next one is the manner in which the complaint has to be lodged. So before that, the ombudsman power with regards to providing compensation will not exceed rupees 20 lakhs. Okay, so if at all some sort of a compensation, financial compensation has to be given, it cannot be given by the ombudsman beyond 20 lakhs. Alright, so he has to be giving the redressal for the grievances for less than 20 lakhs only. Okay, and whatever is the award that which has to be given, it has to be given by the insurance company within 3 months from the receipt of the the instructions from the ombudsman. Is that clear? So now we will continue with this manner of lodging the complaint. So how can you lodge the complaint? Okay, the complaint has to be lodged by the aggrieved party. Aggrieved party is the one who's got the grievance, who's got the problem in the in the insurance. So he can give the complaint in writing, and it should be addressed to the insurance ombudsman. Okay, so whichever jurisdiction the complaint can be lodged in, so that particular jurisdiction you have to go and lodge the complaint. Then the complaint can also be lodged through the legal heir, okay, of the insured. See, apart from aggrieved party, apart from the party who's got the problem, even the legal heir of that particular party can lodge the complaint. Okay, so when he is lodging the complaint, he should make all these inclusions. That is, the complaint should have representations, okay, from the to the insurer named in the complaint. Okay, so some representations of that particular person should be there who is filing the complaint. Then the insurer should have either rejected the complaint, okay, or should have not received. When can you take the complaint to the ombudsman is only when the insurer has rejected. So like I told you all, only when the complaint is not being received or either rejected by the complainant, who is the insurance company, then you can get the complaint to the ombudsman. Okay, and otherwise also, if the complaint was made and if the complaint did not receive any reply from the insurance company within 1 month period, even then you can bring the complaint to the ombudsman. Other than that, when the insured is not satisfied with whatever is the reply that which is given by the insurer, even then the complaints can be brought to the ombudsman. So these are the instances only when the complaint can be brought to the ombudsman. Other than that, the complaint is not made later than 1 year after the insurer has replied. Okay, see, after the insurer has replied, and if you did not bother about the reply later, after 1 year, if you realize that you are not happy, then you cannot bring it. There is also a time limit within which you are supposed to escalate the complaint to the ombudsman. The next one is the same complaint on the subject matter should not be pending with before any other court, like for example consumer forum or any other court. Like if you have already filed a complaint with any other court and if you are waiting to seek the reply, now in the meanwhile you cannot bring the complaint to the ombudsman. Only when you have not made the complaint anywhere else, then you can bring the complaint to the ombudsman. Alright, so now next thing that we are going to see is the recommendation. Okay, so what are the recommendations that which should be made by the ombudsman? So the ombudsman now will make recommendation as per his inquiries. Okay, so he'll make recommendation which he thinks is fair, okay, for the circumstance. Now such recommendation should not be made later. Okay, so or rather whatever the recommendation that which is sent should be sent within 1 month. Okay, and the copies of the complaint that which is received and the recommendation that which is made should also be sent to the insurance company which is concerned on whom the complaint was made. So apart from that, if the complainant accepts the recommendation, he will send the communication in writing within 15 days. The complainant is the one on whom the complaint is filed. Okay, that is the insurance company. So if the insurance company accepts the recommendation, he has to communicate this in writing within 15 days of the date of receipt of the the recommendation, and he should settle the claim. Is that clear, girls? So next one we are going to see is the awards. Okay, so the ombudsman shall give an award within a period of 3 months from the receipt of the complaint. So whatever is the award that is supposed to be giving for the complaint, it has to be given within 3 months period of time. Okay, and who has to pay the awards? It is the insurance company. The ombudsman will not pay. The ombudsman will only give recommendations to the insurance company, and the insurance company is supposed to make the awards. The next one is if the policyholder is not satisfied with the award, then he can also approach other venues like consumer forums, consumer courts, redressal grievances cells. Okay, so if the insured is not happy with the compensation or rather the recommendations that which is made, he can also escalate the complaint to any other courts like consumer forums and other things. So another important thing is every insurance company should make sure that whatever is the rights of the insured, it should be made known to the insured. Okay, so in case of any kind of defaults or in case of any kind of grievances, they should be made known. Okay, that is the insured should be made known and given the privilege to take complaints to the ombudsman. Is that clear, girls? So this is all about the insurance ombudsman. This is also important from examination perspective. Please go through the topic. If you have any doubts, you can ask me. Thank you.